There is something crazy happening with this anime. It is not even possible to defeat a goblin without any attack skills, let alone defeating a mighty minotaur. But he does it. But I think he is just dumb. He thinks it was just a damn overgrown cow. How can he think that after seeing soldiers getting chopped in half and killed like bugs in front of his eyes? But it gets even better. He defeats a dragon and thinks he is too weak to defeat it, and someone else must have defeated it. But that is for part 3 of this video. All great stories start with hardships. So is this one. A dazzling, beautiful morning in the Northwest Clay's kingdom. A young boy Nor handed his mother a cup and saying it's hot. She smiled, thanking him. It was just right. Nor announced his plans to feed the goats and bring them to the hill. His mother reminded him not to go past the rock. But he is already planning to gather wild rabbit, nuts, and seeds to make soup later. Moments later, she softly called out to him, apologizing for being unable to do more for him. She urged him to live his life freely and without regret. Later that night, the soup was ready, but an air of concern lingered. Nor noticed and asked what was wrong, but only to find out his mother passed away in peace. Overwhelmed by grief at losing his last family member, he buried his mother next to his father. From now on, his lonely life full of hardship starts. But he is not so weak-hearted. He starts doing everything by himself, hunting, fishing, taking care of chickens, living alone and lonely life in the woods. That night, as Nor settled in, reminiscing the past, he eagerly requested a story. His father, with a nostalgic tone, began to describe the life of an adventurer, a brave soul who, with their companions, slayed dragons, learned powerful spells from ancient sorcerers, broke terrible curses, and sought miraculous elixirs from the king of the dead. These adventurers faced impossible odds, yet always drew their swords to protect those they cherished. Nor's eyes lit up as he begged to hear more, captivated by his tales. So the next morning, Nor prepared to leave home for the first time. He whispered a farewell to his late parents, vowing to chase his dream of becoming an S-rank adventurer. He walked through night and day and finally reaching the town. Walking through the bustling market, he reached the Adventurers Guild. The guild master, unimpressed, dismissed Nor, saying that the place was not for children. Nor explained that he was told by the guards he could join if he came here. The man was momentarily taken aback, but insisted that Nor would only worry his parents. Nor's face hardened as he revealed the sad truth. They were both gone. Guildmaster, visibly moved, asked Nor's name and advised him about the royal training school where he could learn required job-specific skills like swordsman and magic to join the guild. Nor declared his intent to start immediately. Is this when he is going to become OP? But no. Nor's thoughts raced as he envisioned himself wielding a sword, taking down a dragon in a single blow, just like in the stories. But it's going to get worse. Months later, the instructor called it quits. It was enough. Nor pleaded for more time, desperate to prove himself. But the instructor remained firm, explaining that going further would be fruitless. The only skill Nor seemed to have retained was parrying, an impressive defense, but not enough for real combat. He suggested that Nor might find his true calling elsewhere. But it gets even worse. A warrior, a path that involved wielding all kinds of weapons and risking one's life as a shield for allies. It felt close enough to being an adventurer, so he poured his efforts into it. But it kept getting worse. A few months later, despite all his work, he only managed to achieve slight physical improvements. It became clear that pushing further down this path could cost him his life. How about Hunter? No aptitude as a hunter. He lacked the finesse needed for handling delicate weapons. A thief maybe? The idea of being a thief was also dismissed when he failed to disarm traps or detect anyone's presence, ruling out the possibility of becoming a spy. Nor then tried magic. He could only muster a pitiful tiny flame. It was rare to see someone so inept at magic. As a cleric, he managed to heal minor scratches, but mildly impressive given his lack of natural blessings. From then it's gonna get better. But in the end, the worst came. Nor faced a crushing truth. Despite 15 full months of training across all schools, without any valuable skills, he couldn't register as an adventurer. Disheartened, Nor returned home. He whispered silently to the memories of his parents, "I am home." Yet, rather than drowning in despair, he decided he would take what little he had and train relentlessly. He remembered what his swordsman instructor had said. Practicing one skill repeatedly could lead to mastering a new one. So began his singular focus on parrying, the only skill he had acquired during training. He committed to practicing at morning, noon, and night. 1 year later, Nor had honed his ability to parry 10 swords in a single breath. Although no new skills had emerged, he knew he was getting better. He pressed on, training for 3 more years until he could parry 100 swords in one breath. Even then, he still had no new skills. Determined not to give up, he pushed his training to even greater extremes. 10 years passed. 14 years in total since he started. Nor had reached the point where he could parry 1,000 wooden swords. Still, no new abilities. He decided to try one last time to register as an adventurer. At the guild, Staff confirmed his skills: parry, physical enhancement, stone throw, feather step, tiny flame, and low heal. The clerk looked at Noor in disbelief and mentioned the training school system in the royal capital. Noor explained that he had already been through every class available. She apologized but confirmed that without a significant skill set, he still couldn't register as an adventurer. Noor accepted this with quiet resignation. Suddenly, an unexpected voice interjected. It was the master, who hadn't recognized him at first. Upon realizing who Noor was, he marveled at the young man's dedication. Noor admitted that all he had managed was to improve his parrying skill. The master explained that adventurers were ranked from S to E, with E rank needing at least more than one useful skill. Noor's face fell, sensing that his journey had come to a dead end. But then the master mentioned an obscure option: F rank, a level so low it was virtually unknown even among adventurers. Noor's eyes lit up with hope. He asked if he could register for this mysterious rank. The master clarified that F-rank adventurers were restricted to non-combat, city-bound tasks, odd jobs no one take, job fit for beggars. Despite the bleak conditions, Noor agreed without hesitation. After confirming his resolve, the master handed him an F-rank adventurer license. Noor's heart surged with gratitude as he clutched the small piece of paper. Finally, he was an adventurer. Noor began to practice basic skills while complete minuscule jobs: physical enhancement to carry heavy load, feather step to catch a stray cat, low heal, tiny flame, stone throw, and practicing parry every single night, becoming an adventurer who could be of use to others. Achieving this much felt like a victory. Anything more seemed almost greedy. Now the present day, Aunt Stella compliment for his work. The praise came from a construction worker, and now, a cry for help shattered the moment's calm. Noor run towards the commotion. A massive cow appeared, far larger than he had ever imagined. He'd only read about creatures like this in books. The soldiers trying to block its movements and protect a frightened girl. Panic set in as Noor noticed a man fly by. He was dead. The reality sank in. Others would share that fate if no one acted, but they are getting killed like bugs in front of Noor. Without hesitating, Noor threw a stone. It was now or never. The beast moved swiftly, and he braced himself as he parried the blow with all his strength. The impact was overwhelming. One misstep would mean death. He needed an opening for a counterattack, but realized that he don't have any offensive skills. Amidst the chaos, his eyes landed on the girl, frozen in terror. The cow approaching her. Determined, Noor activated Feather Step and moved toward her. Even if he couldn't be the grand adventurer, he resolved to protect the defenseless girl before him. To him, true adventurers stood their ground, raised their swords, and fought against evil to defend the weak and their companions. Even with broken sword with another parry, the axe flew towards the monster and chopped his own head. He narrowly avoided disaster. The fight took everything he had. It was too much. For a brief moment, he realized how far he still had to go before he could travel the world and embark on real adventures. A quiet voice interrupted his thoughts. The girl spoke, gratitude clear in her tone, thanking him for saving her life. Noor couldn't believe that a simple loose cow in the city, not even a demon, could cause so much chaos. It was a humbling reminder. He still had much more training to do. So it was a simple cow, he think? He might be the dumbest MC of all. After the devastating fight with the monster, Lady Linneberg's guard, Ines, arrived asking if she was hurt. Ines apologized, regretting not accompanying her, but Lady Lindbergh explained that she was not to blame. Besides, there was no need for an escort during the trials for the right to the throne. Lord Darkin arrives, suggesting they return to the castle as Lord Rain wished to speak with her. Lord Rain, after confirming with Lindbergh, questioned the truth of the Minotaur being summoned to the city. He noted that a Minotaur was a demon from the abyss, found in the deepest dungeon layers. Lord Darkin confirmed the details and suggested that this was an intentional act by someone. Oaken's research revealed the source of the summoning was a magic stone in a ring which was of an exceptionally high purity, uncommon in the market. The stone's crest indicated that the ring originated from the magic empire of Deridas. Their true goal was not to assassinate Princess, but to provoke their country into war. But the true intent appeared to be seizing the kingdom's dungeon of the lost. Attention then turned to the man who saved Lady Lindbergh. Using a single broadsword, he defeated the Minotaur within seconds. Despite being tracked by the secret corps, he vanished before their eyes, as if he were an illusion. This left Lord Rain wondering who the mysterious man was. Next morning, Guildmaster was very worried that Noor did not come back the previous night because a demon that had appeared near the dungeon entrance, near the construction site. A vicious beast type never seen in the area. Noor apologized, explaining that he had been followed by a shady group, so he hid and had gone straight home. Guildmaster says that he was lucky not encountering the demon. Even as a former A-rank adventurer, encountering it would have meant instant death. Noor, relieved that he had to deal with just a big cow. He learned that the demon had been defeated by an unknown individual with a single blow. Noor amazed at the existence of such skilled people. Finally, Noor received payment for his previous day's work. Lin finally found Noor. Noor recognized her as the girl from last night. Lin admitted it might seem rude, but she needed to meet him and had tracked him using her long-distance detection skill. Noor assumed her job class might be thief, but Lin corrected magician, though she also possessed knowledge of all 6 skill systems but basic. Noor was impressed, but she brushed it off saying he was way too impressive. Noticing they were attracting attention, Lin suggested moving their conversation outside. Lin noted that with her soundproofing and concealment skills, no one would overhear them. Noor agreed. Outside while walking, no one can see them. Secret Corps is still searching for Noor. Lin wanted to properly thank Noor for saving her life, acknowledging that his actions had indirectly saved many others in the nation. Noor modestly suggesting he might have just interfered with her fight. Lin saying that she couldn't imagine what would have happened without him there. Noor accepted her gratitude and offered that it was more than enough. Lin, however, insisted on compensating Noor, mentioning her father also wanted to meet him to extend his gratitude. Noor declined, stating he needed nothing. But Lin offered wealth and territory. Noor declined again, leading to Lin becoming tearful, stating he had an obligation to accept her gratitude. Noor was confused but relented when Lin declared she would not move until he agreed. Noor finally accepted on the condition that it only involved meeting her father, with no extravagant gestures. Lin was overjoyed and asked him to follow her immediately, explaining that she would use various concealment skills to keep them hidden. As they approached, Noor noted the size of the place and realized it was Lin's home. Noor realized he hadn't introduced himself, so he stated his name. Lin acknowledged him as Lord Noor and introduced herself as Lindbergh Clays. She preferred to be called Lin and would appreciate if he addressed her as such. He looked around funnily and think it must have owned by a wealthy person or an aristocrat. Ines, seeing a strange man, gets suspicious but get embarrassed after hearing that he was the mysterious savior of Lady Lin. She lead the way to the chamber where the Lord was speaking with Rain. But Noor, being the dumb he is, think it must be hard to chores, cleaning and laundry in such an outfit. How can someone mistake royal guard as a maid? As they proceeded, a man named Gilbert stopped them, but soon after hearing about the mysterious man, he joined them. Meanwhile, in the audience chambers, tension in the air about Derrida's disregarding non-aggression treaty, and on top of it, arrogantly demanding the kingdom's most valuable dungeon in return for measly military support. They even threatened the kingdom for their swift rejection. Lin arrived and greeted her father, who was relieved to see her. Rain, noticing the hermit's cloak she wore, he expressed concern that she had ventured outside. Lin explained that she felt compelled to personally find the person who had saved her life. Noor, casual and comfortable, introduced himself, but apologized not being well-educated and being informal. Lin's father expressed deep gratitude and even liked the casual demeanor of Noor, acknowledging that his daughter would not be alive without him. Noor dismissed the thanks, explaining that words alone were enough of a reward. However, Lin's father insisted on offering something in return. He proposed land, money, or treasures from the dungeon, items of great value stored in the treasure hall. The guest politely declined these offers, repeating that gratitude was enough. Finally, Lin's father offered a sword, describing it as an item he had picked up during his travels and had used out of personal preference. Noor hesitated at first, but accepted the sword graciously afterward. The Lord asked to give it a good swing but get surprised right after. Noor responded with a nod and activated physical enhancement. He noted that while the weapon was heavy, it was manageable enough for him to swing. The Lord observed Noor's strength with surprise, commenting on his ability to wield it one-handed and acknowledging his sturdiness. The Lord then brought up his daughter, expressing concern for her safety and asking if Noor would teach her. Noor hesitated at the idea of teaching Lin and declined, stating there was nothing he could teach her, emphasizing that parents shouldn't interfere too much in their daughters' lives. The Lord agreed and laughed heartily. At this point, Noor just wanted to go home, and the Lord apologized for keeping him. Now a question, if you are dumb as Noor, what is the first thing you are going to use the legendary sword for? If your ANS is cleaning the gutter, then you are correct. That is exactly the first thought came in his mind after getting the sword. While returning, a voice interrupted. It was the maid. Ines began by apologizing for her earlier behavior, and added that she was appointed as the Divine Shield, to protect Lady Lindbergh at any cost. Saving her life is equivalent of saving her own life. In exchange, she offered her assistance if he ever needed. Ines then issued a warning. While Lady Lindbergh tolerated Noor's behavior, his familiar manner during the audience with the king was unacceptable. She instructed him to avoid such behavior, as future transgressions would not be overlooked. Noor acknowledged her warning. Ines, asking for Noor's name, get extremely shocked after hearing his name, but leave right after thinking he cannot be the one she think he is. Gilbert approached Noor, calling out as Noor prepared to head home. Noor struggled to recall his name, trying different variations before getting it right. Gilbert asked Noor to join him, expressing a desire to see what Noor could truly capable of. Noor realized going home would have to wait.